TuffTrax. Bigfoot 8 struggles to regain that winning form on the TNT Monster Truck Challenge. The world champion Equalizer hopes that doesn't happen. We see a brand new King Kong, and USA 1 does it again. Again, everyone, I'm Scott Douglas, welcoming you to Stafford Springs, Connecticut, and Stafford Speedway, where the superstars of monster truck racing, including, yes indeed, Bigfoot and Equalizer, here to continue their battle for the World Championship on TuffTrax in the TNT Monster Truck Challenge. So we talk about the battle for the World Championship. 1 week ago, Bigfoot made up a lot of ground when he beat the Auto Value King Krunch in the Monster Smash Final. Andy Brass is trying to chase down Greg Holbrook and the Equalizer and bring that World Championship for the first time into the Ford camp with the new Bigfoot number 8. Chris Chapman is with Andy Brass right now.
Thanks, Scott. The return of Bigfoot 8 was something that most monster truck racers really weren't looking forward to after it being banned earlier in the year, while the other trucks could bring their trucks up to his competitive standards. But Andy Brass, the driver of Bigfoot 8, the return really hasn't turned out like you expected, has it?
No, it hasn't. We've been having a lot of problems with 8. You know, we come back, we was out for 2.5 months, we missed a lot of shows with the truck, and that really hurt us because it's hard to dial a truck in outdoors and out to the outdoor tracks when you're not out running with everybody every weekend. So when we come back out, you know, we was already behind in a point stand, and we had to try to catch back up, trying to get the truck to work out, and it's just a lot of stuff we're having to cram in 1 or 2 weeks of racing, and it's really hard to do, and we're having a little bit of problem with it right now.
When we first saw Bigfoot 8, it was indoors, and this truck was just dynamite. Do you think you're really just not acclimating well to outdoors?
Yeah, it's hard to say, really. You know, when you're indoors, your tracks are pretty well the same from week to week, and outdoors, your track changes so much. You know, we've been on a lot of outdoor tracks. We've been having a lot of problem with the weather. It's been raining on us. The truck's not handling, you know, very good. We run the cut tires, and they're showing a lot of problems in the mud tracks. And then we get on tracks like what we've got here tonight and stuff. And, you know, one lane gets a little bit bad, you get a rut in it, your truck's going to follow the rut, or you get on the starting line, and what we have out here is just powder. It's not a good traction. We're spinning off the line. We're not going nowhere.
Well, good luck tonight, Andy, and we'll see if Bigfoot 8's luck changes later tonight. Back to you, Scott.
Okay, Chris, let's take a look at the situation in terms of points, because that's what it's all about in the battle for the 1990 TNT Monster Truck Challenge World Championship. Now remember, Bigfoot 8, while sitting out, was still getting some points because Bigfoot 4's points were counting. So certainly Andy Brass is very much in the hunt. The difference is 18. That's the lead Equalizer has over the Bigfoot camp heading into today's action. Carolina Crusher's not out of this thing. The Auto Value King Krunch, the Kong trucks. That's Awesome Kong and King Kong combining for the number 5 spot. Now USA 1 sitting there at number 6. Gravedigger, after his wreck at Canandaigua, New York, out for the year, holding on to 7th, but won't hold it long over nightlife. The Outlaw and Buffalo Tremor rounding out the top 10. Army Armstrong, we're going to look at some highlights from the qualifying round right here as the Outlaw-Mike Wine has been running very strong of late here on TuffTrax. He'll go side by side with Steve Wilke's USA number 1.
You know, the qualifying sessions, these monster truck races are very, very intense. And the reason that they're so intense is the quicker time gives you lane choice all night long. And in Chris's interview with Andy Brass, he said how important it was to get a good combination on each individual track. This track, the book is a little bit loose. Will not hold a whole lot of horsepower. That'll mean the Outlaw should have an advantage in this qualifying round. But believe me, qualifying is definitely important to monster trucks.
USA 1 on the left-hand side, left-hand lane, coming up and comes off of the cars. Outlaw's run is a good one, but USA 1 is going to be disqualified in that run, Army. The rule saying you have to exit with both tires on one side of the cars, and they're saying USA 1 did not do that.
Well, a replay comes up and shows that the track made the right call on it, and it also gets back to what I was saying. Qualifying is important. You've got to go hard. Wilke was going hard. He just couldn't stay on the track.
So he'll take a 3-second penalty and be forced to come back and qualify again. So USA 1 is going to have a terrible qualifying time because no matter what he does here, they'll add 3 seconds to it.
Yeah, he has lost lane choice. Steve Wilke, look at this, a perfect run. And Wilke came back, adjusted, and went straight as an arrow, but he's still going to be down. He's got to come from behind if he's going to have a chance at all tonight at Stafford.
Outstanding qualifying time, best run of the night at 7.24, but you got to add 3 more seconds, so a 10.24 will set him on back in the pack. Make no doubt about it, though, he's fast tonight.
Steve, seems like you've been getting into a bad habit of re-qualifying and getting that additional 3 seconds.
Yeah, Chris, I don't know. They're out here 20 minutes before event time watering the track down, and any truck that makes a lot of tire speed or, you know, the fast trucks, I'm going to come out the first stack and get squirrely. I don't really know why it happened. We have to look at the videotape, but the True Value Chevrolet showed its stuff in the second pass, and I don't know. I hope I can chop it down enough by making the second pass to get somewhere in there.
Now, Scott, he just told us something. He does not like a water on the track, but he's proven it, a point that we've been saying all year long. If he adjusts to the track, he can go straight. The track will not adjust to you.
TuffTrax is brought to you by Z-Rex Antifreeze Coolant. No matter how cold it gets this winter, no matter where you drive, it pays to remember the temperature never drops below Z-Rex. TuffTrax is also brought to you by Game Boy from Nintendo. Whenever you feel the need to be in control, reach for Game Boy from Nintendo. Your power to go. Welcome back to TuffTrax. I'm Scott Douglas, Army Armstrong, alongside in the broadcast booth, Chris Chapman reporting from the pits, and we'll be checking in later with Mike Goss, who's trackside, to talk to all the drivers after their runs tonight on the TNT Monster Truck Challenge. In Stafford Spring, Connecticut, we're about to go into first-round competition, but Army thought we'd take a look at one more qualifying highlight, Bigfoot 8 and Equalizer, and this is kind of a, you know, it's not a race, not an elimination race, but it is one where they can feel each other out.
Believe me, neither one wanted a little look at Brad. Comes out, pulls the trigger out of the left lane. The truck looks pretty good for him, but they're still having a problem. I've got a theory on what their problem is with that truck. I'm going to explain to you a little bit later. But the chassis is what we call unloading on the truck when it lands. Okay? The chassis is all tightened up when it's in gear. Andy's, when he leaves the line, it's just straight as an arrow. But as soon as he backs on the throttle when it lands, that chassis unloads and goes where it darn well pleases.
Bigfoot with the fast time at 7.26, and if you noticed on the replay, he did indeed keep 2 wheels in contact with the cars, or at least over the cars, and that is the rule. The Auto Value King Krunch against the brand new King Kong. Last time we saw Steve Cain, that truck was on its roof and burning in Myrtle Beach. They've got a new King Kong with lots of suspension travel, Army.
It was on its roof and burning on top of 2 police cars. Question in hand, can the new King Kong hold the hot hand? These 2 Texas square off against each other in qualifying, and Steve Cain is impressive. You don't believe it, ask Scott and Steve. Oh, they get together on the other end. Both trucks look okay, Scott.
No damage done, but the Auto Value King Krunch and the King Kong truck have a little meeting at the end of the racetrack.
Once again, it just shows you the intensity of this monster truck. This is real racing, because we're just looking at qualifying, and they're tagging each other already.
Kong was coming over. Stevens locked it up to try and avoid him, but could not stay out of the path, and they do make contact. Again, no damage to either one, but this was close to being a bad situation. Still, King Kong had the better of the qualifying times right there as Steve Cain lays down a good shot. Second fastest of the night at 7.69. The fastest belongs to Bigfoot. USA 1 actually had a time faster than any of them, but he had to take a 3-second penalty.
Scott, you and King Kong got together there at the end of the track. Did everything all right?
Yeah, our truck's all right. You know, his truck's just real squirrely right now. When he gets the bugs out of him, he's going to have a real good truck. But, you know, last week in Ohio, he couldn't keep it down the track straight. And, you know, I was kind of ready for it. And didn't do our truck no good by getting on the brakes so hard. But, you know, our truck's all right.
Well, let's talk about your truck. When are we going to see the full King Krunch back in action?
Next week, it'll all be 100% again.
Good luck to you tonight, Scott.
Thank you, Chris.
Scott making a good point about having to get on the brakes hard, because certainly he had to, or else that would have been a major crash. Let's take a look at the first round pairings now. Bigfoot will go up against Outlaw in a battle of Fords. Equalizer meets a new one for us, the Pain Crusher. Then No Problem takes on Wild Hair. The Auto Value King Krunch was still third fastest. He'll meet Nightlight. Carolina Crusher battles Playin for keeps. Then to round it out, Clydesdale against USA 1, and King Kong takes on the Buffalo Tremor. Coming up, Outlaw taking on Bigfoot 8 in first round competition. We understand, though, Outlaw has a problem. Chris Chapman is with Mike Wine to find out.
What happened out there?
Cut a tire on the qualifying round running Wilke. Come back, we try to patch it. We got a rag in there and everything else, and a lot of luck and a lot of silicone. I got Foot the first round. You got to be 100% to beat Foot. I'm only about 99.9% right now, but I'm going to get everything I got. If you go around the back, you can see and hear the air leak. Nick, the owner's back here now trying to fix it. We're going to give it our best shot, Chris. You know that.
Let's listen to the problems the Outlaws have.
You go, Mike.
Yeah. They definitely have a problem, don't they?
Yeah, air pouring out of that tire. Army, they're going to do something that is consistent with TNT rules in this situation because they haven't called the first round up yet. They're going to put that Bigfoot Outlaw matchup at the bottom of the bracket to let him have time to try and fix it.
Well, basically, the pairing's going to stay the same. It's an option that both drivers agree on to try to help the other guy out. But we got a new truck coming out. Really, we've seen the truck in the far lane before, but it's got a new dress on it. This is Dave Wiesorek's old Nightlight truck.
But it's now called the Pain Crusher. Ron Payne is the driver. He's out of Ruckersville, Virginia. But look at who he's got to take on, the Equalizer.
Boy, and Holbrook looking smooth and silk in the left lane. Motors right on through. He'll walk over into the next round.
Greg Holbrook and the Equalizer taking the victory in the maiden voyage of the Pain Crusher on the TNT Monster Truck Challenge. As we watch it again, Equalizer looking smooth, may meet Bigfoot in the quarterfinals, so it could be an early point showdown tonight.
You know, it's kind of interesting. Already we're starting to look down the bracket, and when these two blue trucks just might get together. So are the people of Stafford Springs. They know about this points chase, but this guy right here could really be a major upset in the points battle. He knows he can be a spoiler. He'll be representing Ford going up against the Wild Hair Chevrolet of Marvin Smith.
That's John Moore, the No Problem Ford Bronco out of Lafayette, Tennessee. Smith's Wild Hair Chevrolet is out of Arnold, Missouri. These are a couple of veterans who battled each other many, many a time. Of course, Marvin Smith's truck was the old stopper truck.
What's interesting to me is so many drivers are having problems with the track, and John Moore, he loves it because his truck works and he's adjusted for it. This just might be a short wheelbase track, Scott.
What a dandy race. Let's watch it on the replay and see just how close it is. John Moore pulls the trigger on that last set and ekes out a narrow victory over the Wild Hair. John Moore is standing by now with our Mike Goss.
John, it looked pretty rough.
I felt a little bit. I guess I picked the wrong lane. I should have stayed over where I qualified.
Tell us about the run. Wild Hair got pretty close to you there at the end.
Yeah, I don't know what's going on. Most of the people coming out of there are sort of drifting over this way, and I don't know whether the course is doing it or it's a little early to tell right now. We'll see what happens next round.
All right, good luck.
Thanks, Mike. Appreciate it.
Want to take another look at the end of the race to show you just how close it was as John Moore ekes it out, but also look at Wild Hair. He does indeed kind of drift over in John Moore's lane at the end. Chris Chapman is in the pits, and she's caught up with Wild Hair's Marvin Smith.
Pretty wild round against John Moore.
Heck, I thought I won. Apparently not. I thought I won it, but, you know, camera don't lie. But it was a pretty rough ride, but, you know, that's what I'm here for.
Saw a lot of stuff coming out of the back. Is everything all right?
I think probably what it was, we had a little overflow out of the radiator, and when it bounced out there, and the tarp on the back was loose, flapping a little bit. Other than that, it's fine.
Well, maybe luck will be on your side and you'll come back as a fast loser.
Let's hope so. We'll get them next time.
Good luck.
Thank you.
Army, it seems like there are an awful lot of rough rides out there tonight. We're still early on.
Yeah, look at, speaking of rough rides, look at Stevens comes out. He's the walking wounded. He's torn the front end off the truck, the back end off the truck, and he goes up against Dave Wieczorek, one of the strongest privateers in the sport. Yeah, this sport is tough on trucks, on equipment, everything else. You know, Marvin Smith is always a happy camper. You know, in that interview, just like he won the race.
Army, does TNT reweigh the auto value King Krunch with all those body parts off of there to make sure he makes the minimum weight?
Yeah, you're not going to have any problem making the minimum weight in this round of competition. And the body parts that are missing are real light fiberglass anyway. So really, cosmetically, it looks bad. Weight-wise, he's probably only lost about 20 or 25 pounds.
And race-wise, it didn't hurt him a bit. Look at this run. Outstanding.
Look how the truck settles. They're landing these trucks. They're just like a big airplane. You can get it to land right. He did lose the shock absorber. You look right above the rear wheel. When he goes across the finish line, the shock absorber breaks.
Chris Chapman has caught up with Scott Stevens in the pits after his victorious run.
Scott, congratulations on what looked to be a pretty easy victory.
Yeah, as ugly as that auto value King Krunch special is, it's still running really good, you know, and you know, it's a win that we needed to get by. You know, the truck's running real good tonight. Ran into Kong in qualifying and didn't really hurt our truck none. So maybe we got a little momentum, can keep on going. You know, last couple of races we've been running real good, so maybe it's going to be our time this week.
Good luck.
All right, thank you.
Scott Stevens out of Woodlands, Texas. Well, here comes Jesse Birgy from Wyoming, Michigan, playing for Keeps on the left of the screen, and Gary Porter's Carolina Crusher on the right-hand side of the screen.
What we got is a brand new truck on the left side of the screen and an old truck, if you will, on the right side. Porter will have to sell this truck, yellow truck, within the next 2 weeks, so he's trying to run out a winner with the truck, and it looks like that's exactly what he's going to do.
Easy win for the Carolina. Whoa, Carolina Crusher. Boy, he got a rough run at the end of it, but he still records the victory.
You know, he's the only monster truck that lands like that. He did it at Louisville, Kentucky, and almost got into trouble, but it has a tendency to want to wheelie on him right when he goes across the finish line. Good smooth run, everything's looking good. The truck settles between the jumps, launches it, lands it, and now takes that big old bounce.
Getting the victory, and the truck seems in pretty good shape. Here's Gary Porter standing by with Mike Goss.
Gary, tell me about that last set of cars.
Well, you know, the truck's getting a lot of air down at the end. We're getting up a lot of speed, and, you know, when it landed, it took a bounce like it did in Louisville, you know, when the front end come up and the rear end wanted to ride a wheelie again.
Is it 100%?
It's 100%. This is the last weekend for the truck, so I'm going to be going all out for it.
Does that mean the new truck's on its way?
The new truck will be at the next show.
Looking forward to seeing it.
Okay, thank you.
All right.
Coming up next, you never know how a USA 1 race is going to turn out. USA 1's going to be facing Clydesdale when we come back. Welcome back to Stafford Springs, Connecticut. I'm TuffTrax, Scott Douglas, Army Armstrong, Mike Goss, Chris Chapman, and the entire TuffTrax production team, bringing you all the great action from the Northeast. It's USA 1 from Ham Lake, Minnesota, the True Value Chevrolet of Steve Wilke out of the Everett Jasper stable. And there's Bennett Clark out of Powder Springs, Georgia, the Clydesdale Chevrolet.
One thing that's going to happen here is Wilke is in the bad lane. He is someplace he does not want to be. He cannot afford to shoot himself in the foot. He's got to come back from behind. And this Georgia Chevrolet is not going to let him do it. He's going to push him hard out the back door. Wilke in a little bit of trouble. Wilke in big trouble now, Scott. He's going over.
It has happened again. The USA 1 truck has landed on its roof for the 9th time, ladies and gentlemen. Steve Wilke looks like he's coming out of the truck. There's Greg Holbrook over to check out his old adversary, and Wilke is indeed coming out of the truck on his own power. Wow, Bennett Clark checking to see if he's okay.
You know, a lot of people think monster truck racing is not real racing. You don't get any more out of any motorsport than this sport right there, and that proves it. About a $75,000 to $80,000 accident.
Wilke is flat upset. You know, I think he has kind of just had enough, Army.
You know, Wilke, his personality is kind of like a guy with a short wit. He doesn't have a whole lot of patience when things go wrong, and right now, a whole lot of things went wrong right there. He tried to correct it. It comes back, but again, the truck high sides, and like you say, he's got to hold the world's record for the most flips in a monster truck. What'd you say, 9 times on the lid?
Well, that truck has gone over again. Listen to this. You can hear the crowd chanting USA. They're excited, but I'll tell you, Wilke not happy with this run at all. Army, we've got to address one topic right here. 9 times. Is this a safe truck? Should it be out here?
Yeah, the truck's safe. I mean, it wouldn't live if it weren't in a safe truck. I think it's designed wrong. The center of gravity, I believe, is way too high. And once it starts the high side, you're in trouble. But when he rolls over and the camera stops, look, both the wheels came off the rim. He just had a whole handful of problems. And remember, the 3-second deficit caught him right there. He was trying to come from behind. Steve Wilke is a good driver. It's a good truck. But he's got to learn to adjust his style to the track. Again, I told you he had a short wick. He is pumped up, and the crowd can feel it. The crowd is chanting, USA, USA.
He's upset. Flat upset right now. He's dreading that phone call to Minnesota to tell Everett Jasmer that the truck has again landed on its roof. Now, let me clarify one thing. That's 9 flips for the truck. Rod Litzow took it over several times, and now Steve Wilke, I think, has probably gone past Rod's number of flipping them, but in all, that truck has flipped 9 times in TNT racing competition, and certainly it has taken a beating. They're going to get it back righted now, and indeed, it's back up on all fours. Well, we've seen the last of that truck for tonight.
Yeah, we've seen the last of it for tonight, but I guarantee we haven't seen the last of it for the year. Like Chevrolet says, they build tough trucks. This truck will be back. They're already thinking about how to put it back together, but again, I cannot stress how tough the competition is for this World Championship.
And we can't point out enough how critical the disqualification in qualifying was, because if it wasn't for the disqualification, Wilke would have had fast time and lane choice all night, but instead, he gets stuffed into what apparently is a bad lane and lands on his roof. There he is. Chris Chapman's with him.
Steve, I don't think 9 times charm.
No, Chris, I don't know. I don't know what I have to do. The field's running so fast. I got a hammer on it, and again, I don't know what happened. I know I was crossed up in the middle and just stayed in the throttle, tried to drive it around. The True Value Chevrolet, she's tough. We're going to do everything we can tonight to try and put it back together. You know, I don't know what to say. Everett Jasmer and Greg Knudsen and everybody, Mark Gerard, my crew chief, everybody back at the shop, they worked their tails off, and I just don't know what to say, Chris.
Steve, is there any point, this has happened to you an awful lot, is there any point where you say, oh no, this is it, it's over?
Well, Chris, it's my job to not only drive them, but to build them too, so I'm responsible too. I don't know what happened. The front studs snapped out the springs. But again, you know, I personally, of course, would like to see a new truck out, but that's up to the boss. I got to do with what I got right now.
Cruncher here. This Crunch of the Week ain't a pretty sight. Brought to you by Galoo, makers of micro machines and TuffTrax vehicles. Are you tough enough for TuffTrax?
You luckily came out of that matchup with USA 1 unscathed.
Well, I had a little damage to the truck. I thought I was going to run over him during the little episode. When we jumped in the air, it looked to me like when my front end was up in the air, he was coming across in front of me. I thought I was going to come down on him. As I hit the ground, you know, he began to tumble in front of me, and I was standing on the brakes as hard as I could and trying to avoid him because I looked like I was headed right for the cab with the tires. I was glad I missed him.
What went through your mind? Should I lock him up? Should I go faster? What?
Well, when I was in the air, I had to hit the gas as I came down. But when I came down, I was giving it the gas. When I saw he was in front of me, you know, I just said the heck with the race. I was just trying to keep from hitting him because I knew I was headed straight for the cab part of the truck.
Well, you going to be all right to come back and run?
Yeah, I've replaced everything. We're ready to go now.
Good luck, Bennett.
Thank you, Chris.
Crunch of the week, indeed. USA 1.
But I know what caused that accident. In the crunch of the week, the left front wheel came off the rim. That's what caused the accident. Wilke, there was nothing he could do.
Now, you remember, this wreck looks an awful lot like it. This was the last flip for USA 1 in June, Richmond, Virginia. See, the front end just kind of rips away from the wheels and the axle assembly. Now, this time it doesn't completely rip away, but there were a lot of similarities.
Yeah, basically, the only similarity I saw is when the truck goes up, it has a tendency to go to the left. What caused this wreck tonight was the left front wheel, literally, you know, the tire separated from the wheel. That's, you know, in any race, that's going to get you in trouble.
So again, the problems on the front end the wheels, the axle, something up front. Again, takes USA 1 out. He lands on his roof for a 9th time.
You might wonder why the tire can separate. Remember, with these big old tires, even though they're 66 inches tall, they only run 5 or 6 pounds of air pressure. Who's coming to the line now, Scott?
King Kong and Buffalo Tremor side by side. More great action from Stafford Springs, Connecticut.
Texas going against New York. Texas, the half track down. New York coming on in Texas. Oh, another. Boy, these people in Stafford Springs are used to seeing great racing. They're seeing it again tonight. These monster trucks are really going after each other's throats.
Steve Cain is becoming the king of the bumper cars here. That's the 2nd time he has smacked his opponent at the end of the run.
What this is, Scott, it's a brand new truck. Look at the chassis. It's really weird. Lollygag, if you will. It's new. He doesn't know really how to drive the truck, how it's going to land, where it's going to go. He's just hanging on for the ride till he can learn the characteristics of the truck.
And in case you're wondering, the TNT rules about staying in your own lane end at the finish line. He's not disqualified for leaving his lane or hitting the other truck at the end of the run. Chris Chapman's with Buffalo Tremor driver John Kwasniewski.
John, you're the 2nd person that King Kong's tangled with at the finish line.
I was staying in my lane. I come off the finish line, and I couldn't see where he was at first. When I come off, I seen him veering to the left. I couldn't turn out of the way fast enough.
Is everything all right with Buffalo Tremor?
It seems to be. I didn't even look yet, but I'll find out from my brother. He was down at the end of the track.
Now we get to the Ford showdown between Bigfoot 8 and the Outlaw, so apparently the tire repaired at least enough to race.
Scott, one of the things I was trying to point out to you, when the truck's sitting on the start line, they can load the chassis. That driver does that with the brake and the gas. It's loaded right now. The chassis is still loaded. Now it unloads, and look what happens. That's when you got to drive it back.
A huge upset. Bigfoot's in some trouble. He gets it shut down. The Outlaw has again beaten Bigfoot. Mike Wine knocks off the Big Daddy in the Ford camp, and the Outlaw team is pumped up with another huge win over Bigfoot, and this time they knock off the Bigfoot 8 truck. But watch the story of this race. Andy Brass has to get on the brakes right there.
When he was on the brakes, believe me, the old tripod Outlaw was on full boogaloo, and that's what pays dividends in this sport. Look at the end of the run. Brass was really trying to drive it hard. But the chassis, like I say, I've watched this truck. They've talked about it. I guarantee you, when they get that chassis to stay tight, the truck will go straight as an arrow.
Between the cars was the demise of Bigfoot, and you saw the margin of victory there for Mike Wine and the Outlaw team out of Pennsauken, New Jersey. Nothing gets Mike more fired up than a win over Bigfoot. Chris Chapman is going to talk to Andy Brass about that run.
Andy, when you keep it straight, you win, and when you don't, you don't.
Yeah, that's right. And we're having problems. We've been watching everybody, though. You know, everybody's having a little bit of problem in this left-hand lane. But, you know, that's the lane we chose. I was trying to watch the starting line in the right lane, and it didn't look like it was, you know, everybody was getting as good as grab off the line. We figured, well, we just stay in the left lane. We get good hole shot on them, but it's having problems with the truck between the cars again.
Well, it's a precision sport as much as a power sport on some of these tracks, and you have got to be able to hit that second set of cars straight. That's what cost Bigfoot. There you see work going on. Nick Rossi and the Outlaw gang working on the Outlaw truck, so apparently there are problems continuing, maybe even more problems after that win over Bigfoot. Chris Chapman is working her way over to the Outlaw camp to get a word with Mike Wine.
Mike, you've been flying 100 miles an hour for a big victory over Bigfoot, but now you're saying you're out?
Yeah, here's what happened. There's a small piece of metal and an adapter that bolts to the bottom of the crank to run the blower, run the power steering, to run everything. It broke in half on the second set of cars. We have other ones that are stock, but as you can see, the two difference in the cranks from a kryptonite crank and a standard bore 460 is about an inch difference. Now, 1 inch makes all the difference in the world when you're out here running. Foot's going to be able to come back, but it builds a lot of confidence in a person and everybody else now who I'm running with, and when I run him from now on, I know in my heart I can beat the man. Even though he got squirrely, got off the brakes, I can still beat him. Anybody can mess up.
So we haven't seen the last of Mike Wine and the Jersey Outlaw.
We'll be out this evening, but we'll come back and we'll fix it right. Do it the way it should have been done the first time. We'll be back. That's all.
We're sorry to hear about the bad luck, but congratulations on the victory.
Thank you very much, Chris.
But in terms of the points, Bigfoot's going to come back because Outlaw is out of it. So you take Outlaw out of the equation, and Bigfoot and Equalizer are going to meet in the quarterfinals. A huge showdown in terms of the World Championship. Then it'll be no problem to take on the Auto Value King Krunch, two trucks that are running very very well tonight. Carolina Crusher comes back to take on the fast loser. That's right, Wild Hair was fast loser in that first round of competition. Then Clydesdale comes out to take on King Kong next on TuffTrax. Well, get your notebooks out. We're going to do a little math equation right here. Bigfoot came in trailing Equalizer by 18 points. Bigfoot, being fast qualifier, gained 4 points in that round. But because Bigfoot lost in the first round, despite the fact that he gets to come back, and Equalizer won, Equalizer gains 2 more points. What's it all mean? At this moment, Equalizer leads Bigfoot by 16 points in the battle for the World Championship, but now they go head-to-head.
Well, really what it all means is the Blues boys are going at it one more time. Let's kick back and watch. Whoa, Holbrook's impressive, Scott. Looky here.
Bigfoot is just having all kinds of problems with this race course. Equalizer gets the win, and at least for the moment, the points difference right now is what it started tonight. Equalizer by 18.
Yeah, but the Equalizer still has another round he can go through, right? So he can stretch the point out. I'm amazed that Holbrook literally had this thing covered from the get-go.
Wow, great run for the Equalizer, but again, Bigfoot with big problems in between the cars. Mike Goss is down right now with driver Greg Holbrook of the Equalizer.
Greg, the best thing you can do in this points race is knock Bigfoot out early, and you did it tonight.
Yeah, he beat me a lot. He was a lot faster than me in qualifying, and I just let her go to the floor that time, and that's all she had.
Did you know you had the race won? It looked like he was crooked right off the starting line.
In the second set of cars, I just sort of glanced over and noticed he wasn't there, and I just let her roll in.
You got Bigfoot out of the way. There's been a lot of carnage out here with wrecked trucks and stuff. Is this your night?
I sure hope so. We've had a lot of bad luck. Maybe it's changing now for the better. Good luck. Thank you.
Well, there's the leader for the World Championship. The guy who's chasing him is Andy Brass. A tough loss for him in that round. And Chris Chapman's going to go over and talk to Andy about the run.
Andy, maybe that lane change wasn't the right choice.
I guess it wasn't, you know. It just seems like they put the starting line right there is on asphalt, and they laid about 6-8 inches of dirt on it. It seems like all we did is just bite right through the dirt, hit the asphalt, and just turn sideways on us.
This week's Power Drive is brought to you by Nintendo's Game Boy, where every shift of the gears brings to you more games and excitement. Whenever you feel the need to be in control, reach for Game Boy from Nintendo, your power to go. Power Drive once again, Equalizer and Bigfoot, and it's all the Chevrolet. Greg Holbrook knocking off his main nemesis for the World Championship. It's Equalizer whipping Bigfoot on the Nintendo Game Boy Power Drive. So the Equalizer now has advanced himself into the semifinal round of competition. And he'll meet the winner of this race, the Auto Value King Krunch, and no problem.
Steven's out of Texas working what looks to be the good lane close to the camera. He'll go to the next round. John Moore running hard out of the right lane. Everybody's having, even the guys that go straight are having trouble getting shut down. They're going that fast, Scott.
No problem is really running tough, I'm going to tell you.
The short wheelbase on that truck is working on this track. Sandy's starting area that was giving Brass so much trouble really was an advantage to no problem. John Moore's flying straight. He's going to be a player. You watch that guy. He could be the old Fox before the year's over.
Scott Stevens really had to push the Auto Value King Krunch to the limit to get the victory over no problem. But Krunch will indeed move into the semifinal round. Well, coming up next, the Clydesdale waits for the arrival of King Kong as the quarterfinal round continues on TuffTrax. Connecticut on the TNT Monster Truck Challenge. The quarterfinals continue. Wild Hair was the fast loser in the opening round, so he gets to come back and challenge the Carolina Crusher.
Gary Porter, the Carolina Crusher, told us this is the last time for the truck. He wants to go out in a blaze of glory. He's working that way, Scott. He looks good.
The wild hair took him to the limit, but Gary Porter's Carolina Crusher, coming from behind on the second set of cars, pulls out the victory. Here's the replay.
You know, Porter driving that truck reminds me just of an old pair of comfortable shoes. He just looks smooth in that truck, and it handles great for him.
Marvin Smith, looking as good as he's looked all year in wild hair, really gave him a run, but Porter gets the victory.
A little more under control that time, Gary.
It is. You know, I come off the line a little bit harder, and I tried to turn the motor a little bit harder to try to get some more speed, and I think I jumped a little bit further that time and missed the hole there at the end that, you know, really messed me up the last run.
All these trucks braking and everything tonight, you're in a pretty good position in this bottom bracket.
I am. I'm pleased, you know, right now with the truck where I'm at, you know, and the way it's running. I just hope I can keep on and take the win tonight.
So Gary Porter's Carolina Crusher joins the Auto Value King Krunch and Equalizer in the Final Four. And now Clydesdale and King Kong set to determine our final semifinalists.
Steve Cain comes out. Now notice Jeff Dane is here, the owner and builder of the truck. Very janky horsepower. You see it on the front. They're going up against this kid out of Georgia. Both trucks are really hurting at this point in time.
Yeah, we were told that Kong actually had a broken drive shaft, had brake problems, stabilizer bar problems, but apparently they got it fixed enough to run, but I don't know if he could challenge Clydesdale here.
Yeah, but other than that, he's 100%.
You're right. He barely made it to the line, and indeed, Kong has got nothing. So Clydesdale is just going to be able to take it easy and move into the semifinals.
Okay, now Kong was not able to make a good run, but he did get points for that run. Remember, every time you make a shot, you're picking up points. Look how the suspension gives on a truck. Like we say, first time out, they're trying to get it ironed out.
John Kwasniewski wanted to run. He was ready to replace Kong, but they let Kong go to the line despite his problems.
John, we watched a very lame King Kong make a run out there. That should have been you, or could have been you.
It could have been me. It was supposed to be. It was already on the bracket sheet. It was all lined up. This truck was totally trashed underneath. I mean, you could see it the way the run was right there. I mean, this is a sport. You want to put on a good show. You don't run trucks like that that are broken.
Do you feel like that you were unjustly treated in that call, and that it should have been the Buffalo Trimmer out there running Clydesdale?
Yeah, I think it should have. I mean, we've set up meetings, and we have rules about this already, and they're not enforcing it. I don't know what to say. I've talked to 10 different people already before that run went, and they said that's the way it's going to stay.
Army John's point is paying fans deserve to see a better run than a run like that from a broken truck, and TNT had told John he was going to get the run. But instead, they decided to let Kong back in. So here's the way the semifinals shake down. Equalizer to come out against the Auto Value King Krunch, and then it'll be Carolina Crusher meeting Clydesdale. It's the Final Four next. Getting ready for semifinal round competition, Stafford Springs, Connecticut. It's the Auto Value King Krunch and the Equalizer. Things are kind of silent at the starting line. There's some problems apparently with the Equalizer. Now you can see the Auto Value King Krunch is at the starting line. I'm assuming that means Equalizer's on the clock, although I haven't heard that.
At this point in time, when you go to the starting line, your wheels touch the starting line, your competitor goes on what they call a 5-minute clock. Holbrook is not making any motions to even get to the line. Discussion's going on by the track crew. Some of the drivers are coming over, and the crowd is kind of confused about it as well. I am too, Scott. I don't understand this.
I've been trying to listen to the communication radio with the TNT officials.
Okay, the truck is running. There goes Gary Cook over. They're backing him off, Scott.
Now, and I never heard a reference to him being put on the 5-minute clock, which should have been done. Now, I guess Equalizer's ready to go. So the Auto Value King Krunch at the line, and Equalizer is running. Well, Army, he still hasn't made a move to the starting line.
Kevin Ford goes up to Scott Stevens. They're ready to go. Kevin Ford's talking to his driver through the race radio, and they're bringing the Carolina Crusher out. A lot of confusion here. We talked earlier about somebody shooting themselves in the foot. I think it was the TNT officials on this one, Scott.
Now, they're backing these two trucks off of the starting line. Equalizer is not going to be able to go. We're hearing they're going to go get Bigfoot. Instead of letting Scott Stevens run by himself or against a broken Equalizer, he was at the starting line. Let's go down to Chris.
Well, what do you think of TNT's decision to go on and take you off the line once you were ready to race Equalizer?
Well, you know, it's a stupid. We've done this many times. Once this one truck here I staged, that round had to be done. I mean, if Equalizer couldn't come, Bigfoot had 3 minutes to get to the line. Now, you know, they've given everybody plenty of time, and, you know, the only one that's getting the raw deal is us. You know, that's no big deal. You know, we're going to race everyone who comes to the line, but, you know, these rules change every week, so that's what we have to live with.
Well, Army? Yeah, he just called it like it is. He sounds a little confused, too, and upset.
Now, the Equalizer team is still working on its truck, so I'm not sure if he's still trying to come back or if Bigfoot's automatically going to come back. Let me say this, though. With King Krunch staged, if indeed Bigfoot is allowed to come out, you know who this works against more than anybody? It works against the Equalizer.
Yeah.
If he could have got to the starting line, he'd have picked up at least 3 points for losing. Now Bigfoot, if he can get up there, will get a gift, 3 points.
Well, let's see who's going to go to the final out of this race. Clydesdale's running the Crusher tough. Finish line charge, puts the Crusher in a final. Now, who's he going to be going against? I'm still trying to figure this out because a moment ago, Holbrook started the Equalizer and backed it off the line under its own power, Scott.
Let's look at this replay again, and then we'll see who is going to come out for the next one. And Army, the Carolina Crusher, looks awfully strong tonight. He'll make it to the Monster Smash final. And he stays out of all this controversy. He's just going racing.
Yeah, he just put a bumper sticker that says, "Don't buy no ugly truck" on the back of it. He's going to the final with a beautiful truck. The last time he's going to drive it, let's see if he can be a winner.
Now, back to the controversy. The Auto Value King Krunch was at the starting line. Equalizer could have staged and gone. Instead, he backed off. The TNT officials backed the trucks away. Bigfoot now comes back, and I'm going to tell you this right now. If this season championship is decided by 3 points or less and Bigfoot wins it, Gary Cook is going to be pulling his tape back up to see what happened and how Bigfoot gets a free ride right here.
Yeah, this is your 3 points, no matter what. But Scott Stevens, Stevens is in trouble. Both drivers heads up, stay out of bad trouble.
It will not be any more than 3 points, and the Auto Value King Krunch gets the last lap anyway because he beats Bigfoot.
So we've got an all Chevrolet final set up. North Carolina be going against Texas. But look how hard they're driving these trucks.
Let me make this point, Army Armstrong. Bigfoot ran tonight in 3 races. He lost them all. Equalizer ran 2, won them both. Bigfoot's going to gain points for the night.
The ironic thing, Gary Cook is the one that made the call to back off the line. Had they gone to the line and run, no matter what, how slow it was, they would have gotten a point. If they would have done what Kong did, they would still be a player.
Instead, Bigfoot gains ground. And in the whole process, Scott Stevens, the Auto Value King Krunch, says, I'm going to the final.
You got to feel good about that.
Yeah, you know, after getting pretty well rooked on the starting line, you know, these rules they make up every round, you know, it was going to really be hard for Andy to beat us because we had so much adrenaline built up for sitting there for so long. And our truck's running really good, you know. Auto Value, Cobra seats, racing radios. Hey, that wax shop, there isn't much body, but it's slick what we got. You know, hey, we're going.
Did you feel like that was an injustice that you were already on the starting line and you were ready to race and Equalizer couldn't?
Yeah, well, it cost us a race in Nashville in '88. One of the trucks, you know, knew we had problems, went to the line. I couldn't make the call, so the guy got a free run. You know, I went to the line. I didn't know he had a problem. You know, we were both really staged, so the race should have happened. But, you know, TNT.
Bigfoot hadn't won a race tonight.
Yeah, Bigfoot ain't won nothing tonight.
Scott Stevens, the Auto Value King Krunch, will go to the finals, but again, the big loser in that one was Equalizer, and he made the call himself. It's been a wild night. The paths lined in controversy. But the Monster Smash final is about to come off between the Auto Value King Krunch, Scott Stevens from Woodlands, Texas, and the Carolina Crusher, Gary Porter from Wadesboro, North Carolina. All the marbles in Stafford Springs on this race.
Only thing going to the final is Chevrolet. Which one's going to take the win? Yellow one's from the Carolinas, blue one's from Texas. The light goes green. Texas will take the big win out of here tonight.
Scott Stevens and the battered-looking Auto Value King Krunch runs a solid race and gets the victory in the Monster Smash final over the Carolina Crusher. We talked about the points. Indeed, Bigfoot gains 3 points on the night. He now trails by 15. Crusher, King Kong, then the Kong trucks. We're talking about the awesome Kong and the original King Kong. Their points are combined, not the new Kong. USA 1, Nightlife is now past Gravedigger, Outlaw, and the Buffalo Tremor, rounding out the top 10. TuffTrax has been brought to you by Z-Rex Antifreeze Coolant. It pays to remember the temperature never drops below Z-Rex. TuffTrax also has been brought to you by Game Boy from Nintendo. Your power to go. See you next week.